All right, the sun is about to set, but I think we have enough time for this video. We're gonna talk about hitting 30 miles per hour on your Onewheel GT Series S, and at least how I do it and how I learned how to do it in a moderately safely manner. The first things first, I need to get to the trail system. So I'm just gonna practice kind of getting to 25 miles per hour where you can hear it kind of beep a bit and kind of sit in that beep and feel the beep and feel what that feels like for a bit. So let's get to it. To be honest, I don't take this route that often, so I forgot about that choppy spot. That's what a lot of miles will do for you, though. You'll have that like fast reaction time. So it's all about getting those miles on the board, more than just trying to look for the quick tips. So you'll notice there that you can't really hear it when you're going fast, but you can feel the Captain Morganing. So you just kind of learn what that feeling of the Captain Morgan feels like, because obviously the board is trying to guide you to safety, being like, this is too fast. But I personally believe if you're on 150 to 160 pounds, that 25 miles per hour, you're good. You can sit on that warning beep as long as you want, but it is going to feel uncomfortable. Like it really is warning you and telling you, and it tells your body too and your mind, oh, I'm probably going too fast. And so you tend to not be able to push back. That's where your wall will kind of be, at least where my wall was. But let's keep moving. All right, we're at the start of where I tend to practice my speed. You want a nice flat track to be able to get 0 to like 25 and then practice getting from 25 up to 30. And generally how I like to do that is I'll download an app that kind of beeps at me when I hit a certain speed. So I know like if I set it to like 27, then I know I'm not going past 30. Because one of my fears is always like, I don't want to nosedive going like 35 and not knowing it. So I want to know, so then it gives me the confidence to keep pushing, like push through that pushback, get to the point where I'm at 27 miles per hour, then I'm happy. Then I work that up to like 30 or so. And so we'll keep kind of riding and feeling that beep so that we know we can move on to the next step. And I'm going to do that going to just check the trail, make sure there's no logs or anything, make sure it's clear so I can do my speed work without worrying about hitting something random. That's a tight turn. I've tried to build a berm there before, but the people who walk these trails really don't like that, so they tore it down. trails keep going, but this is kind of the track that I tend to practice because then it just turns a lot. I'm gonna stop the video here, restart it, because I wanna actually throw the Onewheel speedometer up to kind of give you an idea. But real quick, let's talk about stance, right? I generally ride kind of like this, and I lean my hips over the board towards the front of the board. And what Austin Silva kind of told me that I kind of kept in my head is kind of think your center of gravity here, and that's where you want to point when you want to turn, when you want to accelerate, when you want to carve left, all of that. Your center of gravity needs to be over the front of the board to tell it to go that direction, right? And then more of it needs to go over when you want to push it past pushback. And this is what I kind of trained myself, is once you get used to what that foot pushback feels like, then you gotta like bring it up to the next level. You gotta bring it up to another gear. And I always kind of thought about that is how I get past that speed. Once I feel that Captain Morgan pretty strong, now I gotta push in even further, because you gotta push in kind of hard, because it's a safety measure, right? And we're trying to push past that. And I know after doing this slowly and working 1 mile per hour after 1 mile per hour up, that I can probably ride up to 32 on flat without it nosediving. I've gotten up to 34, but I don't try to do past 32. That just happens during a race. And when you put enough practice in, you can feel when the board starts to dip and pull it back. But I won't recommend that for anyone learning this. Take your time, make sure to get plenty of miles on the board before you even try to do this. But for anyone who's trying to push themselves and learn the board and really manage the board on their own, it's at your own risk. Remember that. All this dirt stretch, it winds quite a bit, so I can't quite hit 30. I usually hit between 25 and 27 through here. But once we get to the train tracks, that's where I kind of really push my speed. And it gets a little chunky, so I have to keep my legs a little bit lower and tight. That one felt a little gnarlier with the Captain Morgan, and I think it's because I have recurves but with the nose up quite a bit for downhill riding, so I'm going to try to move the nose down a little bit. Yeah, 30.1. Phew! But also, I generally really push the trails with footholds, but I'm trying to make sure that I still got it without them. And this is only a 6-inch tire, and this place is pretty chunky. So it's, woohoo, gets the adrenaline up. Right, and the way that I'm doing that is when I'm feeling the Captain Morganing, my fight or flight response tends to kick in, but I know I still have a little bit more I can push, and so I'm leaning that hip a little bit more up that, I can't really explain. Yeah, like that a little bit into it, and getting kind of low and tight so that if anything happens, I can snap my hip back and do a save. But I haven't had to do that in a very long time. All right, that's it for the tutorial, and now let's just keep sending it back and forth. that. Anybody over. sun starts to blind me coming this way. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Maybe learned something from it. Always be safe, wear all your gear when you're doing this. And hopefully I'll see you out on one of these one-wheel events. Peace.